Hello, my name is Sharon and I'm going to show you how to repot a plant that you either purchased from the greenhouse or the grocery store. Now, first thing you got to do is be organized. Have all your equipment together. I have a little basket here full of all the little things, the tape, the scissors, the brushes, the wicking material, little shower caps to put on the plants to provide like a little greenhouse effect. Everything is available in this little basket, which I got from the Dollar Tree. I also have all my mix, which the container came from the Dollar Tree again, but then it's labeled Pro Mix, which is the mix of my choice. Then I also have my tray from the dollar store and a protector for my desk, which is basically just a tall kitchen garbage bag. I got this from Home Depot. It's like an industrial, very thin, clear plastic garbage bag. And basically all I do with this is I take my scissors and I cut across the top where the pleating is to get rid of that. And then once that's done, I open the garbage bag up. And there you go. Perfect plastic cover for the desk. And then I put my materials on top of this. Cover my computer, my tray out. And then we're all set to go. So any extra little bits of soil and water that may not get on the tray, get on this, and all I have to do is fold it up and throw it in the garbage. The other thing that I have is a little thing of water here and a little baby food jar for leaves, and then I have a little vase for buds and blooms that I take off. Just keeps them alive a few days longer so I can enjoy them because you know, even though you're giving the bloom up from the plant, then you know you still can have a little bit of beauty for a couple extra days. And then, of course, the violet that you purchased from the greenhouse. So let's get started. First thing is we're going to repot from this big 4-inch pot to this little 3-inch pot, and I'll show you why in a second. If you take the plant out of the 4-inch pot, you see there's a lot of soil here. It doesn't take much, just a little bit of working around the plant with your fingers, and you can see just a ton of soil comes off the plant. And you go from all that extra soil that was in that 4-inch pot. This is heavy greenhouse soil. It holds a lot of water, which is good for the plants that, you know, when they're in the grocery stores, or your house, they might have some inconsistent watering, so this does hold a lot of water. But once you get it in the wick watering method that we generally use, and you don't have to worry about it. And the wick watering method requires a lot lighter soil, which African violets actually prefer. And then right now all I'm doing is I'm just taking my fingers gently around the roots and working all the extra soil off of the base of the plant. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring this down, so you're probably going to lose my face, and we want to concentrate on the plant. Alright, now I'm going to figure out where I want to take the buds and the leaves off. And now what I do is I basically restart my plant because I want to grow a larger African violet, possibly to go on a show, but just because I think the leaves can be just as pretty as the blooms. But the first thing you need to do with your plant is concentrate on the leaf growth, and then you can let it bloom. So let me show you this base here is the, oops, this is the crown here, right in the center here. See if I can do this. Okay. And see, you have the base leaf down there, and basically I start from that and I count to 3. There's a little bitty baby here, so there's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So this part here is all I'm going to have left. Everything else I'm going to take off, and it's very easy. I mean, it just snaps right off. All the leaves do. So you take all your leaves off that you don't want. And I tell you, you don't have to do this with every plant. I know everybody doesn't like tearing their plants down, but try it with at least one plant. We did have some project plants for the club. They were free giveaway plants. Try it with those, please. Just to see, how well it does. I promise you, if you do it, that you'll probably wind up doing it to a few more of your plants. Just because you'll see how much prettier the plant itself becomes once you do it. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. All right, and this is the last one I'm going to take off. So really all I have is this little base plant left. And then all my leaves go in my glass jar here. And this is good because if you can't get to your leaves right away, you've got them in the water and they'll last quite a while in water. Sometimes they'll even start to root in water if it takes you quite a while, but at least this will keep your plants alive. And then you put your bloom right in here, and these will last a couple extra days for you to enjoy. This particular plant here is called Suncoast Lavender Silk. It's a very pretty, as you can tell too, what we have done is all these have beautiful variegation, these new baby leaves coming up. So when this plant starts to grow out, it'll grow out with a beautiful variegation on it. All right, then we've got our little 3-inch pot that we're going to use, and we're going to put a wick in it. And the wicking material that I use is just acrylic knitting yarn that I got from, a discount retailer. You can get it, it's 25 cents a scan. There's 3 pieces. You pull 3 pieces off into an individual piece. I cut my pieces 6 inches. And then what I do is I take the wicking material and just put it through the bottom of the pot and then hold it up against the side of the pot. Okay, just like that. And then I take my soil, and I have 2 spoons that I use for soil. I have a tablespoon that I use, and I have a teaspoon if I have little delicate areas that I just want to put a little bit of filler soil in. But just take your tablespoon, and I do 1 to 2 scoops at the bottom. Just 2 scoops at the bottom. And then I take, this is an insecticide. It's called Marathon. It's good for controlling soil mealybugs and aphids and other little bugs that might get into the soil. It kind of prevents that from happening. But hopefully you don't have any bugs in your collection. Again, it's just a preventative measure. You don't have to do it. But I've got it in all my larger plants. And then I put another tablespoon on top of that. Now at this point you can take your string and kind of lie it across the bottom here, but I do keep my string up top, and I tell you why, because if the soil gets too wet, you can take your string at the bottom and you can pull it down a little bit, and it doesn't draw up quite as much water. Although the soil that I have here, this pro-mix soil, is very light soil, and we don't generally have to worry about it. Now at this point I put my plant in, and I want to make sure that the base of my plant is even with the rim of my pot. And that's pretty perfect. And what I do now is I take these 2 fingers here and kind of hold the plant in the center. I hold my wick with this other finger. See how I've got that wick held with this finger, and then these 2 fingers kind of holding my plant in the center. And then I take my tablespoon and I fill in the soil. And once the plant's kind of stabilized, I can let go of both the wick and the plant and just fill it in the rest of the way. And again, I just kind of fill it up so that it's even with the rim of the pot. And notice I'm flattening it out, but I'm not patting it down, because African violets do like very light aerated soil. They've got very fine roots, and the roots grow better when the soil is light and aerated. Okay, and once that's done, you take your plant and you need to give it a label so you know what date you repotted it, and in the name of the plant. So what I do is label it with this electrical tape. And I like to use electrical tape because it peels off the pot fairly easily. I used to use masking tape, but it left a lot of gunk. And sometimes when the masking tape got old, I couldn't get it off at all. And I just label it with the name of the plant, Suncoast Lavender Silk. And today's the 4th of July. And that way I have a record on the plant itself of when I potted it. I do recommend that you repot every 3 months. Again, what I'd like you to do is, I know a lot of people, that's kind of daunting with their whole collection, but just take 1 or 2 of your plants, your best growers or the project plant, and do try it and see how well the plant grows. You know, you don't have to just stop what you're doing if what you're doing works and go in my direction, but, you know, experiment with your plants. I do all the time. So here we go. This is all set to go. And now it gets its little cap. Its little shower cap. And I don't keep it capped but a week or 2. A lot of other people cap it. Keep the cap on a little bit longer, and then what I do is I take this plant and I put it on a reservoir with a little bit of Super Thrive water. Keep it on the Super Thrive water with about a week with the cap, and then the plant's pretty well set. And then once it's set, you can take it off the Super Thrive water and put it on your regular fertilizer water, which I use just regular plant fertilizer water. I don't use African violet fertilizer because, again, trying to get beautiful growth in the leaves as well as blooms. And in 3 months, I'll be back and I'll show you how to repot this plant. You'll see how much bigger it grows in just 3 months, and we'll repot it. And it may even stay in the same size pot. This 3-inch pot can hold a plant up to 9 inches. African violets like to be pot bound. So that's everything. That's how you repot. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let me ask them, and I'll answer them as best I can. Thank you.